Okay. You guys are doing awesome. I mean, to have been still been in this class till this long, there's a lot to do, and I'm sure that by the time you're done with this experience, you would like really you really know you really know your way better than how you started. You know, but the problem we're having is that there's a lot of people defaulting and all that, which is very natural. Um, but one thing we always would appreciate, because we for this course we put in a lot of efforts to ensure that we add a reduction of churn. We used to have churn a lot in the past cohorts. So we usually appreciate that whenever someone is going to stop the program, that you don't just stop coming one day. Yes, the program is free, and it's totally like all the people that put in or put all these things together are putting a lot of effort, I can tell. um and it's a lot of sacrifice from our side, and it's because we are passionate about the community, and it's our own way of giving back. We all have different personal reasons for why we're doing this. Every one of us, we have different personal reasons, and I just wanted to know that everyone is fully embedded into this program. And I think it's a thing of respect. When you're leaving the program, just let us know what's wrong. Sometimes we might be able to help. Like, we know it's a struggle, you know sometimes maybe the math is too much or the coding is too much, and you don't have that much exposure, and maybe you went through that epiphany. I feel like, oh, like I need to go back to go and learn some things. It always happens to every one of us, but the thing is that it's natural that that happens. But when that happens, all you have to do is just, the least you can do is let us know. We send emails, we talk to you guys, but sometimes people just leave, and we're just wondering, where's this person? Um and and it makes organization very complex for us, because our efforts in this cohort is to ensure that you're not alone. That's why we kept everyone in a team. But from the beginning, not all the teams started out on the right foot. So from the beginning, some teams were really, really, really shaking from the beginning, and that like in fact, I think I remember at the beginning I was like emphasizing that, hey guys, you need to ensure that you have your roles at the beginning. So at the beginning, some teams disregard that role. They didn't even select any role. They didn't even put anything on anybody's shoulders. And what always happens is that when people are working together, if there is no leader, if there's nobody who takes the responsibility of the team, it's very hard for the team to have direction. So as expected, most of the teams that didn't have that organization definitely failed. It resulted into a team just having one or two people being active. And we want to respect the individuals that are active. So one of the first important thing that we did is we're going to be reshuffling the teams that are being inactive. Not the teams that have like very good activity. We're just leaving them. And I will just tell you how we judge this activity. Basically, one of the ways we are just looking at the activities is because we gave you guys a deadline for some tasks. And the reason why we gave the deadline was because we needed the deadlines to decide who is active and all that. I felt like many people gave me different personal reasons why they wouldn't be able to meet the deadline, and we talked to them like, hey, it's fine. You can just go on and go on and keep working on these stuffs. So I felt like that would have been enough motivation for people to finish up their tasks. And definitely we just checked. So we just checked GitHub, and what we found on GitHub is like what the activity we found there. Whatever we find there is an evidence that people are active. Do you get? So we base that decision off that, and this is important because attending class is one thing, finishing up your tasks is another thing. Your tasks are the evidence that you understand what you listen to in class. Some people just want to come here and listen. It's fine, but like you need to also show up. You need to finish up the tasks, because the tasks are like the things that are going to show that you've been doing something. And we definitely want to be there. So we are there. We want to support people who are struggling. And I'm sure there are people in your team who are also ready to support when you're struggling. But if you don't show up or let us know that, hey, I'm really struggling with these things, then we can't help. So some people just like, hey, I can't help, and then they just drop, they just get out. Do you understand? Nothing, no explanation, nothing. We don't know anything. So by the time we're running a new cohort, we don't know what is hard. We don't know what is simple. Trust me, you people think we know what is simple or hard sometimes, but sometimes we really don't know, Sometimes we over explain, sometimes we under explain, we can, it's very hard to target a student's level, Sometimes we go really hard and we are not even aware that we're going really hard. But you're the one who's supposed to give us the feedback and let us know that, oh, we need to be a bit simpler. So your feedback is going to influence how we would adjust our curriculum, or how we switch up materials or something, or what we need to give to you as prerequisites, in the future. Do you get? So that the feedback is very important and we need to know it. So sometimes when you're done and you're leaving the program or something is wrong, just let us know. It's just courtesy, You're going to be making it better for other people in the future. If for some reasons we are not able to help you out, with whatever you're going through, which is natural. Everyone goes through one thing or another. And it's natural that we're going to that you go through all of that. So we're actually going to go through the reshuffle and release the new results and with effect. The reason why the reshuffling is very important is because we're moving to the realm of projects, and we want it's very intentional that at this period of time we want to ensure that we kind of we don't have that disadvantage of only one person working on something when it comes to projects. Do you get? So we want to kind of gather together all the guys that have been active and I alone in their different teams and give them like one team so that they are all working together, at least for more than half of the first few cohorts, we've been able to determine the number of students that are individually active in their different teams. So we're going to like just gather you guys together. So you guys are going to be in one team and you can give yourself the much needed support that you need, and work together. Because the idea is to learn to work in a team. So the project has that strong requirement that you're going to work in a team. And I'm going to go through the project. You're going to see that it's a lot. It's something you need a team to work on, Even I myself wasn't able to do it to the detail I would want every one of you to do it too. So that's one thing that's important. So we're going to do the reshuffle, we'll announce it, and then we'll take the effect. We're going to like maybe create for the new teams, the new team reshuffles. We're probably going to create either a new Slack channel for you guys or like reshuffle you guys into some other team or not. I think we'll just create a new Slack channel. Teju, what do you think?
I think so too. I think it's really important to have everyone work together. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
For the reshuffle team, we'll just create a new Slack channel. Just to give you guys an idea, I'll just announce some names and all that. Just because I feel like the individuals are here. For example, I noticed that team material is fine so far. There's like a lot of activity in team material. Awesome work. I respect any team that's very active. Trust me.
Are you sharing your screen? Because we can't see it
No,
if you.
I'm not sharing. I'm
Okay.
not sharing. I'm not sharing. So team material is very fine. Team Kaunda has been inactive. There's just two main people, Joseph Adu and Numase. I'm sure they're here, right? Joseph Adu and Numase have been active. Only those two. So we are going to dissolve that team and move the two of them to a new team. Team Ransom Kuti has had no activity. As I told you how I judge the activity. We gave you guys a deadline, so we're using how you met up with that deadline as a way to judge the activity. Basically, there's nothing else. There's no other metric we can use that's better. Team Sankara has activity, and the team is fine. So the people in the teams are going to remain in their team. We're not dissolving Sankara. Team Johnson Salif has only two people active: Mustafa Moshud and Funto
Sorry,
Karamot.
Femi.
Yeah.
Hello, sorry, I'm from Team Sankara. It's not that active as you think. Like we have so many people that are no longer there and they are not responding. So I don't know how. maybe you have to go through that again. But in
That's why,
Sankara,
thank you. That's why that's why I'm doing this. Exactly. I want to know. I want you guys to let me know what's happening. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thank you for letting me know, Maria. Like I definitely see your own activity. I know you're doing a lot for that team. So what I would do is that I would have a discussion with you. I mean, I'm saying activity because it seems like they all submitted to meet that deadline. So I'm assuming a couple of them are probably just struggling. So this is what I would do. Maybe DM with you. You can just let me know what teams are. You can let me know what teams are not active. Do you understand?
yes,
So
no
you can let
problem.
me know the members that are not active. You can report to me directly. So we
All
sort
right,
this out. Do you get? So we know what to do. Yeah, thank you
no
very
problem.
much for
Okay.
showing up. Thanks. Tim Johnson Salif, that there's been no much activity. There's Mustafa Moshood, Funto Daramola. Those are the only two active people. I'm assuming they are here. Tim Inyerere has no activity. There's only Jerry Badedube who is active there. So we're dissolving Inyerere. Team Anan has only Paul and Israel active. So we are dissolving the team and reassigning the two of them. Team Selassie is staying. There's like decent activity. There's 3 people there. Fumi, Shedrack, and Shion Ajayi. I hope I am correct. Somebody representing the team, maybe you could correct me. Yeah. I'm hoping I'm correct.
Hi, Femi.
Yeah.
Tim Selassie there.
Mm-hmm. What do you
Yeah,
think?
actually, we do have some people that are not active, but we also have some people that are not struggling. I think we could just discuss this later. I'll just
Okay.
give you
Okay.
like a list of
Yeah. People that are not strong, you're supposed to just help them. Like, there's a difference between you're not strong and inactivity. You're not strong is different.
exactly.
You're not strong, we want to
Exactly.
support you. That's why we created a team. So we want to give you all the support and all that. You're not strong, at least you're showing up. And we are there
Yeah.
to support you. That's different. But you're not showing up is like you've forgotten about us. You're not
We
even
have
meeting.
both.
Eh?
We have both.
You said
I said we have both.
you have both.
Both.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
inactive and yeah.
I'm honestly, yeah. I'm honestly interested in we are not strong. I want to ensure that they're getting the proper support, but inactive, I want to know so that we know what to do. Um,
Yeah. Hi.
um yes.
About Tim Johnson Salif. Yeah.
Okay.
You mentioned 2 people,
Okay.
and for some reason my name wasn't there, and I did
Oh,
the
sorry,
task
sorry,
that.
sorry. So your name is supposed to be there, actually. Tochi. Yes, your name is supposed to be
Okay.
there. I forgot to
All
mention
right.
that.
I was wondering
Thanks for sharing.
whether the mismatch in names made my pushes not to be recognized. Something, but no problem.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm also saying this publicly because if you know you have issues, some of the issues or anything, you're supposed to like discuss with when I say discuss with me, I want to ensure that I don't have too many DMs. There are 2 important DMs you can talk to. You can talk to my DM. Do you get? I can answer sometimes, definitely important. You can also talk to Akintunde, that's the Yoruba Asian, or is the main guy in charge of most of all this stuff. So you definitely know that you can always get direct feedback from him. So anytime you need to reach someone, you can talk to Teju. You can talk to Teju straight away. You can talk to Tunde, or you can talk to me. Do you understand? If you reach any one of us, we would like really escalate your matters fast. Then you can also please also use your team mentors. Your team mentors are there also. Use them directly. Talk to them too. So you can talk to your team mentors. So I'm just giving you that hierarchy. Do you get? Try your team mentors, try Akintoday, try me, try Teju. One of us with the answer by the time you're done, trying. Yeah, it's natural. We all have our day job. I hope you guys understand. So sometimes it's natural that like maybe I am swamped and I'm not looking at my DM, or Teju is swamped, she's not looking at his DM. Akintoday can be there to back up. So your mentor. So the point is that we just put all these things in place just to ensure that we don't miss anything. So you at least would get someone's attention. And yeah, so that's team I mentioned. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Tochi. Then team Anan, of course, I said we are dissolving Anan because there's only Paul and Israel. Team Selassie, thanks for the feedback. There's definitely more name in Selassie. I think there's Shion Ajayi, there's John Dara, there's Fumi Bashorun, there's Shedrack Adeyemi. Yeah, so those are the team. But there's decent activity in that team, you know. Yeah, some people can be weak, I agree, but there's decent activity in that team. Yeah, Team Wang Matai as only Chizum Okoye and Margaret Awujide as active. and the two of them are actually very active. So we're going to dissolve their team and assign them somewhere else where their energy is needed, you know. Team Mandela as only Abraham Owoduni as active. Team Makeba as only Emmanuel Iyai and Fola Animashan as active. So Team Konari as only Ridwan as active, and I'm even not sure of Ridwan for now. Is Ridwan here? Okay. But there's Ridwan as active. Team Kenyatta as nobody, no activity. Team Lumumba as no activity. Team Nkrumah as Oluwafemi Idowu and Abiodun Allison as active. So we're also going to dissolve that team. So we're going to come up with a new number. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, so we're going to come up with a new number. I want you guys, I said this publicly because I want you guys to come and discuss with me what you think should work and shouldn't work. What's it about your team, you know, and all that. So let me know what's going on. Then I'm going to use your information and everything to form a new team. Yeah. So you're going to be in a team that hopefully should contain active people. I don't promise you. Okay, Chisholm, do you want to say something? Chisholm, you raise your hand. Chisholm. Okay, I'm not promising you a strong team. That's not the idea of this course. The promise is not a strong team. The promise is an active team. And trust me, you can do a lot with active people, even if they are not so strong. Do you get? Every one of us that is here today, we've gone through it. We've had situations where we've been in teams where, you know, there are people that are not so, you know, that are not so good, or that are weak, or that are still learning, you know. You want someone that's learning, but that's passionate. You prefer that person over someone who is not passionate, you know, because someone who is not passionate is not even showing up. But that person who is passionate, trust me, even if you think they're still learning, they will do a lot better and faster. Okay, so that's that business. The next business is okay. The next business is the business of showing them, like talking about the project. Yeah, so the thing is that when I say DM, please come to my DM on Slack. If you've also been if you've also been in a team where, because the team has been inactive, it has affected your own individual activity. And the reason why you've not done anything so far is because your team has been inactive. I also want to know you. Your category is important to me. Do you get? So if you've not been able to meet your targets, maybe because your team has not been active, and you know that you think that has affected you, and I've not mentioned your name, and you're an inactive team, but you want to still show up, you want to be in another team where there are active people, then please talk to me, send me DM on Slack. Let me know you. I want to know you so that I can assign you to a team that's active, and maybe that can really help you to catch up, you know. So if you know that, oh, like I've not been doing anything just because I'm in a team that has not been active. You know, remember we said we needed our ninjas to create some things before you work and all that. Unless you're in a team and your ninja did not create anything because there was no ninja or anything, please let's know you. Yeah. Thank you. So let's, if there are no issues, you can just send me DM on Slack. Let's deal with these things so that we can resolve them once and for all. Thank you. So Chisholm still raising. Okay. I think okay. I think it's definitely a mistake by now. Okay, so
Yeah, I'm raising my hand actually.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that if you were dissolving the team, you may not need to necessarily dissolve the existing team. So you could just move us into like a team with another tag name, and then this other team we could just stay on that other team and do the assignments, and then focus on this other team and strictly do it for the project. In that way, those people who are in the previous team can always learn from the commit and from the struggles, and we too can go back there and they can be inspired too.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But I'm assuming, see, I get what you're saying, and we're probably going to take that direction because we still, I mean, if someone has been inactive and the person just wake up one day and on the Slack channel is like, what's going on, we want to ensure that okay, maybe you might find your way back. You might still find your way back. So we want to give that a chance. So, but we had the deadline and the person did meet the deadline. It's very unfair to okay, I'm not going to talk about the decision on that one, but definitely we're going to talk about it at our own place. But yeah, Chisholm, we're probably going to go that direction you're talking about. Do you get? But I'm assuming that people that have been inactive are probably not been trying to learn because they've been trying to learn, then they've been learning the wrong way. Because the right way to learn through this course is to take advantage of support you have. Do you get? Someone who is not taking advantage of their support will probably be struggling, it's probably struggling in silence, and or on the other hand, the other person doesn't think they need a team to work, so it can be both either ways. So it can be that you just have bad soft skills or you have bad technical skills, Bad soft skills is not a good thing too, I hope some of it's not a good thing. The fact that you don't have good soft skills is not a good thing. So so okay, so let's just go to the business of the day. I'm going to share my screen now. So what am I going to do, or what are we going to talk about? So the first thing we're talking about is project proposals. Um, so it's time for us to start thinking about projects, and so we'll start needing requirements about projects. Let me stop sharing. Sorry. Excuse me, just give me a few minutes to reorganize my desktop. So everybody's not seeing what they shouldn't see. Okay, I just want to share the entire screen. What's all this? Okay. So I'm assuming you all can see the screen, right? Can you all see project proposal?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So basically, we have this project proposal. We want you to actually come up with a report called the project proposal. The report is supposed to contain the following section. There's supposed to be an introduction. So you're supposed to have a problem you're working on that you're passionate about. And the problem is supposed to have some form of data set. You're supposed to have an idea of like where the data set is and all that. So you're supposed to have like an introduction section that just gives a brief background. That gives a brief background on the impact of the problem you're working on. You want to answer the question, why is it important? So why is your project important? That's what you want to answer here. So introduction, just brief background on the impact of the problem and why you think your problem is important, And then problem description section, where you're doing an in-depth discussion of the problem you have to solve. Just an in-depth discussion. Give us more statistics, give us more data, tell us more about the problem, And then you're supposed to have proposed method. Now your proposed method is supposed to be your proposed approach to solving the problem. We have some requirements though, where the requirement is that we expect you to meet an end-to-end ML basic standard. which are you're supposed to have data sourcing. So you're supposed to discuss in your proposal. You're supposed to discuss data sourcing. How do you plan to source your data? You're supposed to maybe briefly talk about data cleaning, maybe data cleaning and preparation, uh, maybe the basic ML model you're proposing to use, and then how you're proposing to do your model deployments. Do you want to deploy your model in a front end, or when do you want to eventually have your project usable as a front end or mobile app? So you need to think about deployment. So you need to ensure that in your proposed method you discuss these sections: sourcing, cleaning, model, and deployment. And then you're supposed to have something we call proposed split, which is meant to talk about the personnel. So when you talk about sourcing, you're supposed to have a proposal of how many of your teammates are going to work on sourcing. Cleaning and prep, you're supposed to talk about how many of your teammates are going to work on this. The model sub team is to talk about how many of your teammates are going to work on this, and the model deployment, how many of your teammates are going to work on this. Of course, for model deployment, I'm expecting that you need people with front end and back end skills. I used to have this, I had this as a strong requirement, but I still feel like somebody who is dedicated enough and knows how to pay attention to tools and all of this can actually figure out to do deployment without having front end and back end skills. I noticed this because I went through trying to build a model and deploy one. And while I was trying to do that, I realized that there are now some modern tools that just take off all the stress. For example, I was able to do a front end app without writing the full React app, but just using some tools for building a React stuff. I'm going to demonstrate that tool, which is a very good tool. It's called Retool. So I use that to build a React app very fast. It's not looking very beautiful, but it does the job. So I mean, it can be well designed, but I'm not the type that likes to spend time on design. So that's just what the skill sets you might need here. So it's not strict. I don't think it's no longer a strict requirement to know front end, but if you know it, then please use the skill set for your team. And then of course you can, if you also have mobile development, you can do both web and mobile, or you can do either web or mobile. We just expect one, but you can do the two, or you can do either. Now, conclusion, we expect to now do a discussion of the usefulness of your application and possible extension of your projects. And then for references, I'm assuming that you probably must have referenced some article, so you can keep all the references here. So that's all. So this is what we expect your project proposal to contain, just this. I'm going to be sharing this document with you guys. I'll probably also add a sample proposal to it, like with a sample formats for how your proposal should be like. But basically, these are the things we expect your proposal to contain in terms of content. Okay. Then under requirements, so I'm explaining the requirements more here. I'm explaining it here briefly, but I'm also going to go through a sample project where I try to meet all these requirements. This is not all the strict requirement of the project, but at this stage, we are not expecting you, when you start working on the project, we'll start to tell you all the strict requirements that we expect. But basically, we expect the most high-level requirements is that we expect to have for you to have some form of data sourcing. It could be web scraping or any other data sourcing method. You could collect data yourself, by any other method, but you could web scrape. Web scraping is one of the most popular one, but there should be some form of data sourcing activity. Then there should be data cleaning and prep. You should be doing data cleaning. You should be doing data preparation for your model, and then you should be doing some basic statistics reporting here. So we're going to give you all the requirement of statistical reporting that we expect from you. So basically, I know that the teams are, for example, I know that the teams might have dependencies, but in order to reduce dependencies, this is what I would recommend. I'm also going to tell you, like when I'm going through the sample projects, I'm also going to show you how you can reduce dependencies. Like some people might be thinking, oh, data sourcing team has to finish all the activity. Of course, data sourcing team is sensitive. If there's no data, there's nothing for everybody else to work with. So some people might think, oh, the data sourcing team has to finish up all their data sourcing. Not necessarily. The data sourcing team can have some, some small data sets that everybody can start working with while they scrape more data. So let's say there's like 100,000 things to scrape. They can first scrape like 10,000 or 5,000, and then everybody else can be creating and working with that 5,000 while they continue to scrape more data. Do you get something like that? Can be an example. Data cleaning team can do a very simple cleaning and preparation and pass it down to the data modeling team while they continue with basic statistics reporting. The modeling team doesn't need their reports, so they can just do some basic cleaning and basic data preparation and pass the data set here. Now, the modeling team can do a base model, just a base model, and pass the base model to the model deployment team. And the model deployment team can work with that. They can deploy that small model. Meanwhile, these guys can continue to work on comparing models or hyperparameter tuning or monitoring and managing their experiments, because each of these teams have a lot more to do, but you can do basic versions of your parts and pass it down so that the other teams are busy with other things, while you're working. So for example, you can already start comparing models and everything while this team is working on a cleaner data, a cleaner representation, and all of that. So this team can be working on better representation and can even be having more than one version of data sets. Do you get? While this team could have used their first version of data sets to start doing comparison, tuning, monitoring, and managing their experiments. And then when these guys have a better version, then they can now use that better version to improve their model, And all these guys have to do is be busy creating the infrastructures that they need to deploy all the model on live, they might be very busy with the backend infrastructures or building the front end infrastructures, or designing the web, making it look really beautiful and usable and nice. They could be busy doing that. But for all of these things to work, there also has to be meetings and collaborations and cooperations among these teams. I hope that is clear. Does anybody have any question on this project proposal? Questions on project proposal? Okay.
Hi, Femi. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
So the project proposal has to be a Word document or Notion document, either, and then it has to be submitted via what channel?
That's
And
what I'm
to
saying. Like you're going to get specific details on like that. Like, hey, this is the format of the project proposal and all that. But most times you might require you to maybe do a PDF or a PDF, most likely PDF. And yeah.
I can just chip in. So basically, we'll send you a form where you can upload the PDF for your proposal. Like you can either use Word document to create the PDF or Overleaf or whatever you want to use, as long as it's a PDF. And then the team lead or whoever is representing the team can share one PDF with us. We'll send you the form and you fill the form with the PDF, and that's it. Does that answer your question?
yes, it does. Thank you, Teju.
Thanks, Shadow.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's the project proposal, and I'm assuming it's clear. I'm going to share this document, and yeah. So I'm going to now do something way much cooler or better. Is that the word? Where I've done a sample project. So I did an accelerated sample project. That's it's meant to be cool, but the project is also really rushed and it's very ugly. But that's not the point. It's a cool project. So I'm going to walk you through the project. So this is my project. The goal of my project is to can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm assuming everybody knows this website, right? Property Pro. So this website has a data set I'm interested in. It's a website that contains houses in Lagos State and all that. So my project is simply a project to be able to predict house prices. I want to predict how much an house would cost depending on the location it is in Lagos, the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, and all of that. So that's what I am trying to do. So let's say I'm like a machine learning engineer for Property Pro.ng. I could as well be, but unfortunately, that's not my job. But let's say I am a machine learning engineer for them. This would have been the first version of project I would be working on with them, Could be like, hey, I'm fresh from AI Saturdays. I can be your machine learning engineer and build predictive models for you guys. They can add that predictive model as some bots over here. They can put somewhere on their screen. And you just click that bot and use to predict the price of houses. And an human being does it themselves too. If you're an human being and you want to buy housing, let's say Aja, you're like, oh, let me go to Aja. How much does houses cost in Aja? You're probably going to go to Aja, and when you go to that section on Aja, you're probably going to look through some houses. 3 bedrooms is 5 million. If it's 4, okay, 63. You look through and you look at number of bedrooms, bathrooms. So you're going to do this with your eyes as a human being. So, but it's also cool for the website to have like some bots here where you can just click the bot, and just give it those information, and the bot brings house prices to you. You can make the bot look very beautiful, very nice. So this is my own project, and that's like my own description of the project, where I'm just telling you, of course, I can form a background, I can describe the problem, I can tell you about the application, the problem makes sense, basically. So the natural next thing I want to do is start working on the project. So I will first do data sourcing. What does data sourcing mean, or what does data sourcing looks like? So this project is open sourced, so you guys can always use it as a
I
form
mean,
of.
it looks like you've stolen Las's project.
No, you can still work on the same. You can work on the same thing. Maybe you can work on the same thing, but you can make it better or do some other variants of
The
this. You
more
can
you
do a
talk
variant
about
of this
it, sorry,
project. So
I feel like the project is really important and
you
we
said,
should, like I said, the more you talk about it, I feel like the project is something we should have has like a contribution um to AI in Lagos. Like we should collect more data, train the model, and actually make sure that it works. So if a team wants to work on this, we can definitely
yeah, you
make
can.
it better.
Yeah, you can work on it. What I've done is very simplistic and very stupid thing. Like I cannot even release this
So
to
we can
anybody.
release it. It can even be like a tool like under
Yeah,
AI System Lagos where we continuously
maybe.
collect data and we train the model and anyone can predict the house.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you
maybe.
know,
Yeah, maybe definitely.
yeah.
So yeah, well, what I just did, yes, you can still work on this project. You can make it bigger, make it nicer or better, or some other things. But yeah, there's that. But I think you can challenge yourself a little bit more. So what have I done over here? So I want to show you what data sourcing looks like. The data sourcing method I'm using is scraping. Of course, I am scraping this website. And this is my code for scraping. I basically do request.get and get all the portions I need. I got my rooms, my prices, I got my bed, bathrooms, and toilets. And then the result of my scraping is an Excel spreadsheet. So a CSV file, which I keep in my data folder, and I call it Lagos houses. So if you look at my data folder, you're going to see Lagos houses. So this is what my scraping looks like. Just as area, beds, baths, toilets, price. And you can see how dirty this data set is. The area is like categorical variable. Uh, then you can look at this, for example, the prices. You can see these are per day, these are 20,000, these are per square meter. There's a lot of things going on, dirty things in this data set. So that's what my first part is, data sourcing. After sourcing the data, so I could do this basic sourcing. Now it takes a long while for this project, for this code to run. This I left this code running overnight, for it to finish this fast. But it takes a long while. Web scraping is costly, so it takes a while for it to run. But let's say I'm working a team, I can always do for maybe Abule, Agege, and Aja. I can just do 3 or so and finish it up and create a CSV and push the CSV to the next data cleaning team. I don't have to do all of that. that. So my data cleaning team, what does the data cleaning look like? It's basic also. Data cleaning and preparation, your goal. So in the data cleaning team, you just read the CSV that the data sourcing team has created. So what's the goal of the data cleaning team? Your goal is very simple. Your goal is to, all this, remember what I said about how dirty data set is, you can't give a machine learning model string, this categorical variable. You cannot give, like, all your prices have to be the same and all of that, So you have to clean all those things up. So cleaning it is like basically I run through, the house prices, I convert it to numeric. I used some magic called Quest. I I drop NA, null. What else do I do? I want to find out number of bedrooms that are not equals to 0. When number of bedroom equals to 0, I suspect you're probably in land property, and I'm not interested in land property. So all the guys that are not 0, I want to drop them. So I think I did that over here. I drop properties that where your bathroom is not equal to, your bathroom is 0, your toilet is 0. I'm not interested in you. I want you to have at least bathroom and toilet and all that. Once I'm done with that, I've basically cleaned the price, cleaned the dropped data sets I'm not interested in. The next thing is I have an elephant in the room. I have a categorical variable for area. So this is where I treat the categorical variable. I'm simply using one-hot encoding because remember, I'm being simplistic and fast. So one-hot encoding gives me 1 for where it's the area and 0 for everywhere else. So I definitely now have a fatter feature. My feature was smaller before, but now my feature is fatter because I have this big dummy one-hot encoding value. So the disadvantage of using one-hot encoding is that your feature size is going to be as large as the number of unique values. So one-hot encoding makes sense here because I have a predefined and a reasonably sized unique areas. That list could be bigger, and it could also be not predefined. There are other encoding methods, and we're going to talk about it in the practicals. So after I do that, after I do one-hot encoding, I carry whatever I have. I'm pretty sure that a machine learning model can be the machine learning model with this. Everything is numbers, everything is clean, floats, integers, and all that. I think the machine learning model guys can be okay with this. And of course, I create a CSV and I let the machine learning model people know. But I still work for this thing. So this is just something basic, fast for the machine learning team to work with. But there's a lot you can continue to work. You're working on a notebook or wherever, you can continue to work. You're supposed to detect anomalies. You're supposed to do feature engineering, maybe feature creation. You're supposed to experiment with different types of encoding. So you can experiment with different kind of encoding. You can do a lot more. You can have a better data set for your machine learning model. So you can keep doing all of that. You're supposed to do some statistical reporting. You're supposed to write up a report in this section. So there's a lot more to do here, but the basic ones. And then we're also going to give you some requirements to guide you on the minimum things you need to do.
Can everyone still hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't hear him.
Okay. I think we lost Femi. That's weird. So, how are you guys feeling yet? You're excited about your final project? I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yes, until it gets to the deployment part. If Femi
We,
wasn't able to get the deployment we'll try.
we will teach. Yeah, we will teach you deployment. So, the class today, Femi is also taking the practical. So he's also going to be teaching deployment. We've not done model deployment, but we will do it. We'll also go through model staffing. So we are going to do that. So don't worry about that. Well, you will be
All
taught.
right. All right.
Hello.
Yeah. Let's wait for him to rejoin the call.
Hello. Hello. Did you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now.
Yeah, I said the deployment class entail both front and back end. Um, deployment, like the front end part of it and the back end.
Well, we're just going to be focusing on how do you deploy an ML model, but once you have the API as a front end engineer, you can always consume it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I have this question that I've been wanting to ask. I observed that you were once a front end guy. Um, Femi just spoke about building a React app, and I think Tunde does something else. So it seems like most of the people that are really good in AI, you guys have done something else before coming into the field. So do you think someone that hasn't done most of this stuff previously is going to really do well in the field?
Sorry, can I come in? Not all of us that are doing really well can build apps or anything. For example, I know a guy. His name is Lawrence Francis. I don't think he can build. He will build a front end app to save his life. For example, he's not going to touch any front end app to build with it. So, for example, but although I think Lawrence had some maybe web development experience, but like not naturally, you're not going to find him building like an app or something, for example. Then there is Wales. Did you know anybody else? Like not everyone knows have those experience somehow. And I don't even though I have experience doing front end, I don't enjoy front end as much. So I can say categorically that I don't spend time doing front end. I'm going to show you a tool I even use for this app, just to save myself the stress of not doing the front end. Before I was thinking of, finishing up the app and actually building a small React, API and maybe, but as I just thought of the React and I just started having a headache. So I look for a tool and the tool saved my life. So there are many tools that you can always leverage on. So these days there are lots of tools that have been built for 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 you as a data scientist to basically not have to do those things. Do you get? So you just need to prototype. So you can use those tools to prototype. Do you get? Your leaderboard, for example, the leaderboard was built with Streamlit. Do you get? It was built with Streamlit. Streamlit is supposed to be this platform that makes it easy or fast for you to just deploy your data science projects. Do you get? Without having to go through back end and front end and all of that. So you're supposed to use those tools. The reason why we are trying to make you go through, this rough process in this team, do you get, is because in the real life, even though we just prototype these tools, in the real life, there are some issues that comes with the engineers trying to work with these tools, like like a front end engineer, a back end engineer trying to work with your model, and we want you to feel that pain and see some of it. Do you get? That's why we ensure that there's at least a back end person and a front end person in every single team. So that you guys can see what it feels like working with them or trying to give them, your model and trying to ensure that they can deploy it. At this stage, the problem is not massive, it's easier, but it can get complex. It can really get very complex. But you really don't need to know all those things before you can do well in ML. You don't need to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm sorry my internet flopped somewhere, so I don't know where I stopped. I figured I kept talking for a while. Please, where did I stop? Please, where did I stop? Was I Teju?
I think we're talking about cleaning.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
there are lots of other things we can do on the data, like feature engineering
I
and
said I
stuff.
was asking where I stopped.
Yeah, we lost you at that point.
Okay. So after cleaning your data, you have to pass you can pass your small data set to your model development team. So now the guys that are doing model development, all they need is your clean data set. A small version is fine. You're going to learn how to use ML flow. And yeah, I'm just using a simple model, scikit-learn. And so not you've not learned everything we need to use for this project, so you're going to learn them. So I think it's important for you to start seeing how all your tools from all your assignments are going to come together for your project. So over here, I read the data sets, check the just convert everything to NumPy, do some sanity checks here. Then I split the data set into train and test, using scikit-learn. And then here is the model. I do a linear regression model. I use MLflow to manage the experiments. And then here it is. And then I dump the model. I save the model somewhere. I can still check many things. I can play with the model. I can check my MLflow parameters. MLflow has a tool for printing your runs. So you're going to learn how to use all of that data when you're doing MLflow. So, but basically I just have the model and I saved it. Now, after I'm done with the model, remember I saved the model here. So the point of saving the model is because I'm saving the model so that the team, I also kept everything in the data folder. So you guys can see how I'm working now. I'm having one folder where I'm keeping all my data sets and required files and all of that. So you can create more than one, you can just have everything in one. So I create one, and then the model deployment team is going to pick up my saved model and then work on the deployments. Basically, they are supposed to have this bento ML. You're going to learn how to deploy models, but this is our stuff for deploying models. So it's basically supposed to make it very easy for you to deploy models. So I use this service, and then I have a model deploy file where I literally now have the model. When I was done, I deploy on Heroku. So Bento also has this thing for deploying on Heroku. I use that and I deploy on Heroku. So I will show you guys the results. So you don't need to know the details of these things now, but you're going to learn them when you have the class for Bento ML. So that means you should pay attention to the Bento ML class because you will need it for your project. Yeah. So basically, when I deploy on Heroku, so you can see this is my Heroku app. It's live now. My backend is live. So Heroku supplies this platform where you can use to check, to check your stuff, whether it works fine. So you can play around with it. So basically I have my prediction here. No, this is not fast API. It's called Bento ML. You're going to learn about it. And so I deployed it on Heroku. So it provides this Swagger documentation, Swagger UI documentation. And so you can see the documentation here. It gives me my route, the route I created. Remember, I created this in the code. I'm not showing you. You don't need to understand the details, please, guys. Don't stress yourself. I'm just showing you a sample project, a demo project. So I created this API here. And so this is the route. So it's showing me the route that if you do a post request to this, it will work. So this is my post. I posted the sample data set that I wanted to predict. So, and when I executed it, it gave me these results. Can you see this result? It gave me these results as a response. But now I use the URL of the API to now build a front-end app. So this is what the front-end app looks like. For the front-end app, I use a tool called Retool to build my front-end app. It's called Retool. So meaning I just didn't want to write code. It's a drag and drop, web app something. So I didn't want to really stress myself on it. So in this Retool app, I can easily select the area in Lagos, Ajaokuta. I select number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, number of toilets, and then I'll predict. So my model is going to predict and give me the prices. I hope you are not going to crash. Demo time. Something is wrong with my backend. Okay. Yeah, so when my backend server is not working fine, it shows me none. As I told you, this thing is very rubbish right now. It's not too bad, it's just slow. It's just bad. So I could definitely optimize many things. I could write code to prevent many things, but basically this is what I have. So it's predicted that if you want to buy 3-bedroom, four toilet and four bathroom and 4 toilets in Ajaokuta, you need to pay 24 million, to buy that. So it takes 24 million to buy that. You can choose another area. Just look for how much the same house will cost, maybe in a bigger place, just to see whether our model has some sanity. I expect this house to cost more in Victoria Island, but let's see whether this model is stupid or yeah, it's correct. 64 million in Victoria Island. for the same house in Victoria Island. So that's the expectation. If I want to buy the same house in Lekki, 60 million, yeah. So it will cost more in Victoria Island than in Lekki because Lekki is many places. There's Lekki phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So all of those ones must have diluted the exclusivity. Is there any other expensive area? Let me see. I expect the price to be smaller in Yaba. Let's see. Hey.
Maryland.
Eh?
Maryland or Magodo.
Okay. So Maryland. Yes, it's 4 million. Similar price in Maryland. I'm not sure I have Magodo, but the model is not very strong. It's a very weak model. So that's basic sanity. It also gives you negative values, by the way. The model gives you negative value. Yeah. But this model could be way better. Like this is just fast and all that. Yeah. So and if you just want to see how, if you want to see the engine of using the tool, basically I just did a lot of drag and drop, and then you have to you have some queries here, the main backend queries. This is where you create it, and so you can see how I created my categorical variable. So I was just checking the value of the areas, and I'm like, if the value of the areas is if it is a bullet, but then give this feature 1 and all that, and it literally created all of these guys over time. Yeah, you can definitely. This is a simplistic app. Yes, I did it because I feel like the motivating example of the things you can do. Do you understand? You can build this into something other interesting. Do you get? Who is asking me how long it took me? How long did it take me? I broke it into chunks. I did web scraping in one night, left it overnight to run. I cleaned the data set in another one night, like just one random evening, then left it. So let's just say each portion, let's just say one night for each portion of the work. So one night for scraping, one night for cleaning, another night for, so I just broke the work into chunks because I'm busy with other stuff. So I just did it in chunks. One night for this, one night for this, one night for that, one night for that. And that's how I built it. So just one, so it's not a period that takes a lot of, when I say one night, it means just one evening. I was just working on it and I finished it off and I'm done. I went to bed. Another evening I worked on it and I went to bed. Yeah, I have my committee street to show me wrong, but basically that's basically what it's about. So that's all I wanted to show you. You can do this into many things. I just want to show you how to see your idea, your ML idea or your machine learning idea come from, like scraping the web to building a backend service, to building a front-end service, and then voila, you have your machine learning app. This is the magic. This is the behind the scene for your machine learning apps. This is what happens. This is our goal in this course. We want you guys to be comfortable when you see these apps. And when you join any team in the future, we want you to know all the engines, all the things that goes into place. Many teams use different tools. Most of them might not be using simple tools like we are teaching you, but these simple tools they will always open your mind to what the other bigger tools could be doing. So most teams are using these exact tools. You'll be shocked at what you find. And of course, there's also the mobile preview and all that. So that's that. I think that's all for now. Questions.
Hi, Feb. Sorry, in the quest to be unique, if someone now takes on a project that probably tries to solve a problem in Nigeria, and you know how like sourcing for data is a bit, when you hit that particular problem, is there a way around it? I mean, trying to get data for a unique problem.
Yeah, good advice. Be ambitious, but always know that as a data scientist, you have that strong limitation, data sets. It's all about data sets. This is where you start to see how important data sets are. And this is why sometimes like some of our most important research in AI Saturdays, the research projects we work on, are research that have strong data collection portion. So we're really strongly on data collection portion because because there's a lot of things we wanted to do. There's a lot of things we dream about, but when you don't have data sets, you just have to calm down, you know. I could easily build this, I mean, in evenings, you know, because yes, I have like all those other skill sets, but then if the data set is not available, there's little I can do, you know. Yeah. Do you get? So whatever you're thinking about, you need to answer that question first. Is the data set available? The reason is because of the limitation of time. But if there was no time limitation, then you know the first approach to your problem, get your data sets first. Yeah. So there are many smart ways people get data sets. Sometimes people build apps to solve other problems. So while they're solving those other problems, they're also getting data sets to be able to solve future problems. Yeah. Sometimes people do that, you know. Yeah. So, and of course, you have to be very responsible about your data sets. You know, there's all sort of things that people do these days to just to get data sets, you know, that are irresponsible. Yeah. Any other questions, clarifications?
Yeah, I have a question. So, are we going to start when we've been shuffled into our new teams?
Of course, you're going to start with your project proposal first, and then you still have some couple of trainings to go through. For example, you guys don't know how to you've not learned about Bento ML, you've not learned about, and it's important that you learn about these things because now you're going to carry your team along. So even though you're in charge of model deployments, it would be nice for you to be doing presentations to your teams for them to see it. So for example, within your team, you can be organizing you have to be organizing internal meetings and internal presentations because even though I'm in team mature, for example, and I'm working on data sourcing, I still want to know what's happening in data cleaning. I need to know what's happening in data deployment. I need to understand what's happening. So even though I have my own core team, I need to still know what's going on in other teams. And I'm sure because so everyone has a feel of what is going on everywhere. Not everyone has the skill set. We have to spread everyone. Everybody has to have responsibilities, but you still need to know what is going on in other pipelines because that's the point, you know, you get. That's the point. And in fact, I can even recommend that even after your team is done with the whole project, you can grab the data set and all that and actually replicate it yourself. You can also do that just as an extra exercise for you to know that okay, this is what went through for this whole thing, you know. And for a place, let's say maybe your team, someone actually built a React app using React code, you can just, you know, collect his code and just use it for that part. You don't need to like write your own React app or something. Or you can come and learn to use tools like this, like Retool, and save yourself the stress and all that. Yeah. I think they have sorry that you're seeing the trials and I think they have like some free stuff for one person. I figure it out. I didn't figure it out. I didn't pay attention to it when I was running it. I just rushing through creating it. So yeah. So I think for one person it might be free. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Any other questions? Clarifications? Okay. Questions or clarification?
Hi. Oh, sorry. Just one last thing. For
Okay.
the proposal, are we to make it as a team or it's on an
Yeah.
individual basis?
Make your proposal as a team. Yeah. Your proposal, one proposal per team. Yeah. So one proposal per team. So it means you guys have to have an agreement and all that, amongst yourself and write the reports. So one proposal per team. Yes.
Oh, yes, thanks. So we are expecting one proposal per team, but for the final project, because we'll be having different sub project, right? If I can put it that way, each of those people in those sub team need to write a report on what, just like Femi said, on what they have done, and then there will be a final report where you put all of these findings together as along with a notebook with the tool you built and everything. So you definitely everyone would be working because you're all in different sub team owning that, but you also have to have an holistic view of the entire project, even though you have you're focused on one part of the pipeline.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, we are going to when it comes to the actual project, time, we're also going to ensure we're giving you enough materials. Like you have this access to this sample project. I'm going to share the access on the channel, so you have access to the sample project. It's probably also going to be like along with our already existing repos, probably, or it might be in a separate repo. Well, so we'll still think about how exactly we want to host it. So you have this access to this sample project just to be a guide for you while you're working on your project, so you know what's happening in data sourcing, what's happening in data planning, what does that mean, and all that. So you can have an idea, basically. Trust me, the methods that you'll be using and the things you'll be dealing with will be very different from what's in this sample project. So sample project is just a guide. Do you get? Um, but definitely when it comes to reporting, I'm going to give you more details on project reporting, and yeah, it's going to I think it's a project that you guys will be proud of doing as a team. I think it's something you'll be really proud of yourself that you were able to achieve. Yeah.
So maybe we can take a 5-10 minutes break here and come back for the practical session.
Yeah.
Oh, you can
Wow.
call, just take a 5 minutes break and then we'll start.
Although me, I'm ready to start. If anybody else is ready, I could go. Yeah, 5 minutes break is good.
Okay. Do you want a break or